You remember the guy I brought down here? He's working on this thing. He ain't quite where he needs to be, but he's working on it. He's like, put away all that nonsense that he's doing. He's working on.
Right on.
Came his family back. I told him, do what you will. We don't know everything. You know, he wants to. So he's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
He's
Don't
going
worry
to.
about it. You're on the right path.
Yeah. Nice.
And my son
Hey, how are you? Welcome to church. So she's calling now, huh?
She can walk.
She can walk?
Yeah.
You can walk? Let me see you walk. Come here.
Look at that.
Nice.
Hey, just,
So you got to have another baby now, huh?
I know.
Congratulations.
Another girl.
Beta. Beta. Next time, boy. Baby number 9.
The ninth one will be a boy? So 8 girls? Has that been done? Actually, my grandma was one of 8 girls. Can you believe that?
Really? No boys at all? Wow.
Curse on my finger.
Come here. Yeah.
Wasn't that fun
Yeah.
with the baby? That was
Yeah.
amazing. Anyway, good morning, all. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing? Incredible. Contain yourselves, please. Just a couple of quick announcements. If you haven't been here before, or you just,
Is anybody in the lobby out there?
if you just want to hear me talk,
Have them come on in.
for the lollygaggers just strolling in now. Anyways, if you need to use the restroom at any time, it's back through that door. And to the left, TJ is back there in case you get lost. A lot of people getting lost these days, so TJ's back there. He'll help you out. If everyone would be so kind as to check their cell phones, silence the cell phones, please. No interruptions. Let's not have any interruptions during the service. I would greatly appreciate it. It's very uncomfortable for me, so uncomfortable, when the phones go off. Please no food or drink before, during, after the service. I think everyone has got that rule drilled into their brain at this point. And I'd say that's enough, people. If anybody wants to move to the front, who's sitting in the back, there's enough seats though. That would be much appreciated. I think there's probably going to be some late people, as usual. And finally, as you know, we will be having a fellowship. And so if you have a question or comment, please raise your hand. I will bring you a mic. Samuel, the Mexican car wash boy, will bring you a mic. And if you would be so kind as to hold it in the same way that I am holding it. So just so, not too far, not too close, just so the people in the audience can hear you. And so the complainers at home and in the live chat can hear you as well. Anyways, that's all from me. Happy Sunday. Thank you.
Amazing. Oh. So Mark's wife is having another baby.
yay.
Another bond baby. Everybody and their mama pregnant. That's a baby Jessica daddy. Daddy. Good morning. Welcome to church. I am Justin Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can go to our YouTube channel for the chat line, and I can take your questions and comments as they come in. Good morning, y'all.
Morning.
So, but no one knows who baby Jessica's daddy is? But you've heard me mention baby Jessica's daddy, right? Do you know, Chris?
I don't know specifically. I vaguely know the story that she was like a missing girl, or she fell into a river or something.
A well.
Yeah. But that's all I know about it.
Oh, a little baby fell into a well
I think it was just
and it was like
just before
national
my time.
news. And the daddy name was, well, her name was Jessica. And so when I said, everybody hi, but maybe Jessica daddy. And I'm surprised, but I guess you guys are too young to know. Because this happened in the 80s, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little before my time.
When were you born?
89.
Wow,
Yep.
that seemed like yesterday.
Feels like it, I guess.
89 seemed like yesterday. Isn't that amazing? Compared to the year I was born in. My year was so old, I think Abraham Lincoln was still around. How y'all? Good. Any questions or comments about anything? No? Okay. Well, we can take up tithe off and go home. Everybody's healed. Anybody had a life this we had an amazing meeting on Thursday night with the ladies. It was really, really amazing. You missed it.
I can't drive anymore.
Oh, good.
I don't like driving at night.
Oh, nice.
It's too far.
But it was really, really good. The ladies showed up. It was a good meeting. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So the office won't be open Thursday and Friday of next week. We will do the shows live, but not the office. It'll be closed. I want a lot of things I want to talk about, but I want to get to this thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. And Kyle is a young man that was freed of all charges this week in Kosovo, right? What's it called? Kenosha. Same thing. It seemed like Kosovo. And but the reaction to it is amazing to me. And I realize that you have a choice of living free in this world or living as slave. Because the world is really, really, really evil. It's real messed up. And out there in the world, if you of the world, you're still in that father state, you get caught up with words and you just lose your way. I did an interview, a podcast with someone this Friday night, and I was talking to a good friend of mine that live in another state, and they both think that Kyle was not innocent. They don't realize that it was self-defense, and they were calling it everything but self-defense. And I was surprised to hear them say that, because if you see the videos, you can see it's self-defense. But because the liberal media call it as something else, and most people don't think for themselves, they are subject to words, they're believing that it was something else. They're calling it racism. They're saying that if a black man had done the same thing, it'd be different. They're mad at the judge because he liked Korean food. The judge can't even say, I want some Korean food. I think he's coming late. Yeah. And it's a real mess. It's a real mess. And they're even saying that his mother drove him there, and he had a gun, and he was only 17. And so I was thinking, what's wrong with that? 17 is a young adult age almost, right? And if you know how to use a gun, what's wrong with your mama driving you over there to another city if you don't have a car or way to get there? But they're trying to act like that's a bad thing. It's crazy to see the people outright lying about the situation. There are a few conservatives telling the truth about it, but they're just lying about it. But what's more amazing to me is that the people are falling for it. The people who are watching the news and stuff are believing it and just saying the truth without any common sense. And we don't have common sense, and everybody crazy, except baby Jessica's daddy. Is it just me see it that way? It just doesn't make sense. Even in my father's state, some things didn't make sense, you know. You have a right in this country to defend yourself. And you lose that, it's over. And it seemed like that's what they want to do. Kyle Rittenhouse was proven to be self-defense. And the other people that did that stuff to him, well, I think one is dead. He dead. And two are dead? Nice, two of them are dead. But the guy, I admired Kyle for the way he dealt with that. He really did. He even broke down one day, and the news media said, "Oh, just fake and all kind of crazy stuff." So what I want to do is to encourage you to overcome the world, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That's for sure. The world is evil, and there is no love in the world. Zero love. And this year we're bringing back Christianity and love. And so I want to talk to you about how to overcome that, all right? How to live in this world with perfect peace. And you really, really can. Because God will detach you from the world. He said to be in it, but not of it. And so you can't make yourself be in it, not of it. He can, though. So we're going to talk about how to do that as well. And it's so amazing to live in this world and become detached from it. Because it's all spiritual, and the world is owned by Satan. That's why his children are going crazy. But you could be in it. There's a real world inside, and there's a fake world on the outside. You got to come out from amongst the fake world if you want to survive on this world. Because right now people committed suicide, they are drug addicts and alcoholics because they can't handle the pressure of the world. You're supposed to be able to handle the pressure of the world. And they're using everything as racism. I almost don't want to say this, but I'll say it. In that incident with Kyle, I don't remember seeing any black people involved in that. It was white folks killing white folks. And yet they're calling it racism. Everything is racism. It doesn't make sense. Look like that alone should let the people know, you know what, forget about you. That's not everything. Is not everything ain't racism. But they're using it because they've been able to get away with it. They have understood that white people have fear. And I was thinking this morning, if ever that was a perfect time for whites to overcome fear, now is the time. You got to overcome the fear. If you have fear, it's over. It really won't be able to handle anything. Any questions about Kyle? What do you guys think? Yes, sir. It's so amazing. Even my family members think that the guy is guilty.
So I have a comment.
Oh, let me say this then, hold on. They, instead of saying it was self-defense, they call it murder. They say he killed someone. They don't call it what it is, because if you call it what it is, the people can't be deceived. You have to lie. And they lie. They just lie now. Just lie. Anyway.
In the courtroom, the prosecuting attorney, Thomas Binger, actually said that you lose the right to self-defense, which is an outright lie. You never lose the right to self-defense at any point.
That's
And then,
amazing.
do you know who Scott Adams is?
Never ask a black man if he knows who someone is.
He's the guy that created Dilbert, the cartoonist.
yeah.
He
I had him
said
on the
that
show.
he is looking for a GoFundMe for Kyle Rittenhouse defense or lawsuit against Biden for defamation. So I think there's some big moves that are going to happen here shortly for Kyle Rittenhouse.
I'm hoping that Kyle becomes the president of the United States. He's tough enough to become the president, because when you endure things, you get tougher from it. When you don't endure, you become weak. You get weaker. So, any questions? Anybody had a life this week? Is this your first time here? Oh, the whole family? Oh, nice. What's your name and how did you hear about us?
My name is Manuel Flores. I've been listening to for about 3 years now.
Right on.
This is my sister Karina and her Rosendo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Any questions about anything or disagreements?
No. I mean, everything you say is it's common sense. You know,
Yeah.
as far as this whole Rittenhouse case, it just shows how, you know, everybody's kind of enslaved, where they kind of given up on their own soul and their whole, judgment.
Yeah.
Or to make a decision, and they kind of just go with the narrative that's thrown at them. So, and it refers back to, you know, your God and what you have inside, where God gives you that confidence to decide, you know, with some logic and common sense.
Absolutely.
And it's showing that the world has completely gave it all up
It's
for
crazy.
whatever's, you know, they think they're going to receive, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense when you think about it logically. Yeah.
It's insane, man. Crazy.
So when I hear you speak and it resonates, so your family members don't even want to see it, the truth. We see it too. It's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, it's amazing how the family members have divided over stupid stuff.
Yeah, family members. I mean, your loved ones, your children, everything. It's an all-out battle. It's all spiritual, and I think once you overcome all that, we'll be able to build something better based on the foundations that under God, principles, values, manners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you gotta start living from within every day. You gotta live from within rather than without. I saw a report this morning where 80 black people broke into Nordstrom up near San Francisco somewhere and just robbed them. And it's all on camera. And what they did was they lined their cars up in front of Nordstrom and stopped the traffic. And you can see them running in Nordstrom and running to the car, loading their car up. And no one says anything about it.
Right.
It's not all over the news or anywhere. Isn't that like amazing? And they're acting like wild animals. It's like animal-like. And I'm thinking, well, I didn't know that human nature can sink so low. But when you really think about it, it can. It can go lower than that. And so I'm wondering what is the next thing to come, because it's going to get worse. That's why you better get ready. It's going to get worse. They hate good. They hate anyone that's good, that's of God. And that's why they try to destroy you. And they definitely hate the white man right now. They got to get the white man out of the way and the rest is easy. So they think. It's not easy they think, but they think it'll be easy. Because there are men and women waking up, yes.
Why do you think people that represent good or that come from good, values, why do they continue to justify the wrong? I don't understand that.
Because they have not been born of God. Mm-hmm. They know about him. They've gone down to the front of the church and confessed him. Mm-hmm. But you must be born again. And when you're born again, you start to live from within. And living from within and dealing with life is totally different than living without. And so that's why they're doing that. They have no love.
Yeah, I agree, because to be honest with you, I don't remember me consciously going to like a church service my whole life. I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
And this resonates because, again, it comes from when you speak, I've always felt, and we felt that way. It's natural.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like that, like get up and you got to just start living it and trying to do good. But it's crazy. We're living in a moment where it's two different realities.
Yeah.
One's being ran by our Creator, the God that we believe in internally.
Yeah.
And the other one's ran by people living off emotion, which I make this analogy where, especially young kids that are on their phone, constantly. I mean, they could be happy one day in the morning, and then at lunch they're completely depressed.
Miserable.
And it's just like up and down, no stability, no anything. So I think even with like the guidance of the adults and us, it takes us. Just how we were raised, even though we might have forgotten for a bit, but to return and to really try to live a good, peaceful, happy life. I mean, just trying to do right and be right. I mean,
it's amazing how you can literally live a peaceful, perfect life in all this mess. It's weird too, but it's weird in that it's good. It's weird in that it's real, because the kingdom, you can't see it. You just live in it, right? But once you forgive and you're born of the Father, you will live in the kingdom, and then you start growing. In the same way that a physical person grows from a baby, spiritually, the real you grow. And you can't feel it, taste it, or touch it, but you grow, you learn, and you deal, and you overcome. And it's nothing like what you can even imagine. But other than amazing. Did you go and forgive your mother?
Yes, I have.
How did that go?
Well, she understood. She kind of broke down, but then she realized that what I was saying was right.
Oh, nice.
So she reacted emotionally, and then she kind of went back to, I think he's right. My father the same way. Before I even encountered you, growing up, I felt like this. Now I see what happened, but my dad was always there, always positive from both parties, my mom and father.
Right.
But I still had this thing because I didn't understand what he was trying to do as far as protecting me. So as I grew up, I said, man, you know what? I told him thank you, because he's probably watching right now. I told him thank you, because if it wasn't for you, I'd be a bigger mess than I was, So thankful for him, he was able to hold that side of discipline where my mother was more lenient to, okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
My father was one, no. And then there was times where he knew I was lying, but he'd let me go so I could fall on my face and learn
That's right.
My way.
Absolutely.
Which now I see as an adult and, you know, having children, it's like, man, I see it now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a full circle thing where it's, how you say, it's very spiritual. And like I tell him, I identify more with you as I get older. And he's kind of still subscribed to that leftist ideology. And that's what I'm like, yeah, but look at this. And he's still kind of like, doesn't want to see it.
Right.
But he knows it's true. You know, I know he knows. He feels it. I mean.
Amazing.
Can't-
Nice, man.
But-
Good. What's your name?
Karina.
Karina, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And any questions about anything?
No, I would.
No?
yes,
Did you overcome your anger? That means no. That's a no laugh.
I'm there. I'm getting there.
You're getting there? Well, and what do you mean you're getting there?
Well, no, I'm not. I mean,
How are you getting there?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it.
Have you forgiven your mother? That's
No.
another no. You have not?
No.
He's speaking to the microphone. And why not?
Wow. I'm not. I mean, I don't know.
Any day now, you will hear me say, goodbye, my love.
Yeah.
Are you afraid to?
No. It's
Well, why
just,
haven't you?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know. I guess because I don't know. I'm a girl.
What? What'd you say?
I'm not my girl.
Are you nervous?
A little bit, yes, I am.
Relax. Just Jesse. Really, relax. And what did you say? Why you haven't?
Well, I've never really thought about it. You know,
Oh.
I never really, yeah. So.
Your brother haven't told you about it,
Yeah, he has.
but you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
No, it's just I'm thinking about it. You know, so now we're here. It's just maybe that'll help.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you have anger toward your mother?
No, I don't.
You have no anger?
No.
She did nothing wrong with what raising you?
From what I think, no.
She never got on your nerves at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's
Did
pretty
y'all have the
laid
same
back.
mother?
Yeah, we're
Oh.
from the same mom.
But she was perfect in the way she raised you?
From what I think, yeah.
okay.
I might be wrong. I might see it later in the future.
Yeah.
Or.
And how
you know.
about your father?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, to me, they're good. You know.
Okay, so you had perfect parents.
In my eyes.
Oh, okay, so where did your anger come from?
Well, I don't. Not that I have anger.
Oh, you don't have any anger at all?
No, not that I've noticed. Not like, you know,
So you never get angry?
I do, but it might be a little bit more of just little things that just not big things, you know?
You get angry at little things,
Yeah.
but not big things?
Mm-hmm.
Why you get angry at little things but not big things?
Wow, good question.
How old are you?
24.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know why you get angry at little things and not big things?
It could just maybe not angry, more like annoyed.
Annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's different from anger?
I think.
Oh, okay. Any questions or anything?
No.
Anything you disagree with that you've heard me say?
No.
Have you ever
I
listened?
haven't really listened
Oh,
to
you haven't
you.
listened to the
No,
show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just hear from what he talks about. I'm like, okay, I'll go check it out.
Right on. Well, if anything come up, let me know. I'm
Thanks.
glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right. What's your name?
My name is Rosendo Hernandez. This is my first time here.
Oh.
Heard about you.
That's your brother too, right?
That's my brother-in-law. Actually.
Oh, what?
That's my brother-in-law.
Oh, your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And what is your name?
Rosendo Hernandez.
Is that a real name? Oh, thinking London? What did you say, Sam?
Rosendo.
Oh, Rosando.
Rosendo. Yeah, with an E. Rosendo.
Oh, nice name.
Thank you.
I bet you Sammy can't spell it. Welcome. Any question about anything?
Thank you. No questions. Just
Yeah.
here. Just
Yeah.
listen.
Have he talked to you about forgiving your mother and stuff?
Yes, actually. Well, no, but I've thought about that. So,
You thought about forgiving her?
yeah.
And why have you done it?
I haven't really gotten the chance to, or I haven't really prepared myself for it.
How old are you?
31?
Oh, you're 31? Oh,
Yes,
I thought
sir.
you were younger. Any question about anything or disagreements or anything?
Not at this moment. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank you.
All right. I want to do, if no one has anything, how's your case going? Your situation?
With the school?
Yeah, with the school.
Well, I sent, those who know the story, it was related to a class that my son was put in called Decolonized Drama. And that was a rough go, but ended up, God provided a solution to be able to get him out of the class. So I've been mentioning that I'm continuing to try to see what other ungodly things are going on at the school and do my best to stand up for what the Lord wants so that my son is not raised against the Lord.
Yeah.
And the most recent thing that just is this week, you guys might know there's a mandate within the Los Angeles schools to give your kids a shot, and the deadline actually is today for the first shot. If you want to keep your kid in the school, you have to have the first shot today and the second shot in December so that when school starts in January, your kid is fully vaccinated. Otherwise, your child will be not permitted on campus, so they will use force to keep your child off campus that you're obviously paying for.
Yeah.
So I sent letters this week to
Okay.
the administration about this topic, and some of them were with the help of lawyers. There's letters out there you guys might know of if you have kids that lawyers have drafted for people to use to push back against the school district. So that's a short version of where I'm at, you know.
After you appeared on the show about that, there's another guy that goes here. His kids go to the same school as your kid. And
Yeah.
he had sent us some pictures of the stupid school they have on the walls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm in communication with that brother.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to run for school board or something now?
One thing at a time.
Right.
One thing at a time. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, at some point it could get to that. I'm hopeful to have some success to protect my son from the enemy that's at work in the school.
Yeah.
And if that God provides for that, then we'll take it to the next level.
Yeah, good, man. We'll keep it going. We got to get involved. It's not enough to just complain about it. You really got to get involved because these people don't care. And they're so sneaky with it. They'll vaccinate your kid, you not even know it.
That was one of the letters that I sent, and I suggest anybody that has their kid in school to send a letter that says, I do not consent to any medical procedure being done to my kid without my knowledge, because throughout California, the schools are literally vaccinating the kids without the parents' permission. They'll do something like they'll make a phone call, and if you don't answer the phone, they'll go ahead and give the shot to the kid. They're having the mobile clinics on the campuses, and they're doing these type of things all over California. So that was one of the letters that I sent that I do not
That's
consent.
amazing.
Yeah.
I would take my kid out of those schools. You can't trust the teachers. And so even though you tell them not to, they'll do it anyway. There was a story we did on the radio this week where this girl was being transferred to a boy. Right? Was it? Yeah, I think so, without the parents knowing about it. They had started transitioning the girl to the boy. And the mother found out because she just happened to ask the kid a question, and whatever the kid said made the mother realize that they were doing that to her, changing her daughter, giving her the stuff. Isn't that amazing? That's like unheard of.
It's being normalized starting at the elementary school level now with, as you mentioned, the posters and different messaging in the classroom. There's actually, a lot of this actually, believe it or not, comes down from the state of California level. They've started passing bills that we're not aware of that allow and actually force the schools to start doing this stuff. So it seems like it's on the surface level where it's a random teacher here or there,
Yeah.
but it's actually coming from within. Everything is spiritual. The enemy is very wise and has taken the long way around
Yeah.
and is getting from the inside into the schools, and it's not going to get better anytime soon.
It's not. It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And then these people running around robbing and stealing on camera. You know it's bad. They don't care about the law at all. And that's because the law is not going to do anything. Somebody robbing your store, you have to call a social worker. What a mess. Well, let me know, man. If we need to get involved, let me know.
Yeah.
We got to
keep
do
you
something.
posted. Yeah, appreciate your prayers.
Yeah. So the biblical question. What's the biblical question? How do you feel about your weakness? Y'all heard about the biblical question, right? Okay. Anybody want to respond to that? Yes, Raymond. And then I'll come to you. How do you feel about your weaknesses?
I see my weaknesses as a form of sickness of the soul, and so unless I find the cure, it'll slowly drain my soul like a vampire bat.
Wow. You got some serious weaknesses. Okay. Yes, sir.
I feel about my weakness, I feel that I am afraid of them.
You're afraid of them?
I'm afraid of them. When I'm confronted with one of my weaknesses or any of my weaknesses, I have fear.
Of what?
Of the weakness. Of
Why are
just,
you afraid of it?
just of how the weakness can like make me feel like either physically or possibly emotionally. That's why it's just one of those things that it's like a burden that if I confront it, it's just one of those burdens I'm always fighting to somehow like overcome.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
A weakness is like heights. I don't like the feeling of falling. And whenever I like climb up and get higher on like a ladder or something, I start to get nervous and so I don't like going on roller coasters or anything like that just because of that.
So you don't face any of your weaknesses?
I do, but then that's when the fear usually kicks in.
Oh, okay.
When I face the weakness,
And when the fear comes, do you stop or you continue with it?
I usually
Facing it.
stop, yeah.
You stop, okay.
I stop.
Amazing. Yes, sir.
Jesse, I realized, and I've been seeing it more clearly, that my mom had no love.
Yeah.
Absolute no love. My dad didn't have it either.
Yeah.
And that set me off searching for love in my counterpart and another woman. And I've been doing it for such a long time. And I'm ready to drop that completely.
So how do you feel about seeing that weaknesses?
I feel grateful. I feel grateful because I think it strikes at the root cause, the Adam and Eve thing,
Right.
of what is caused a lot of suffering in my life. You know, I for a long time, you know, I've always, just like any other man, was looking, you know, for happiness and companionship.
Yeah.
And it always failed because I was not relating to women properly.
Yeah.
And that probably has been my greatest weakness. And I'm 50 years old. I was married for 18 years, didn't learn my lesson.
Yeah.
Got into another relationship and didn't learn my lesson, sort of repeated the same mistakes. And I'm just done with it, Jesse. I know that love is from the Father.
Yeah.
I've been in this journey long enough to really realize that, but something always seemed to have drawn me back, you know. But I want to drop it permanently now.
Right on.
You know, so hoping going forward that, and I have been doing much better.
Are you doing the silent prayer every day?
Every day.
Every day?
I'm doing it now.
You had to stop for a while?
I never really stopped, but I stopped doing it. I was doing it less. Normally I would do it morning, midday, or sometime within the day, and then at night.
Right.
And then when I started, a relationship, I sort of started, she was become my God, so to speak.
So you stopped doing the prayer?
So
what?
No, I never
Yeah.
stopped. I never stopped.
What happened when you do it? Is that
sorry?
when you did it less?
I did it less.
Oh, when you had the relationship?
Yes.
Oh, so you found your God, so you no longer need the prayer?
It kind of seemed that way.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, that went sour, and that's really just all it was is an attachment.
Yes.
And that's what it is I think, is that we're afraid to let go of our attachment. Not everybody. I'm not speaking for everybody, but at least myself. It was always. I always knew the narrow path. I wasn't. I knew the narrow path, and I think you know me long enough to know that I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. I wasn't ready to go for that
Yeah,
attachment
that's
because I
what it
was
is.
looking for that love that my mom never gave me.
Yeah.
She was a bitter woman, and my dad was tyrannical.
Did you go and forgive
Yes,
them?
I did.
Oh, okay.
And
so
a lot changed
Oh, okay.
with my dad. When I finally forgave my dad, a lot changed. I can tell you, I don't want to bore you, but I overcame a lot of things,
Right.
deep, dark things.
Yeah.
And it was because of that, a lot of drop with my dad. But there was still some unresolved issue there with my mom because I was still drawn to wrong relationships with women. I still had a weakness for that.
Yeah. Amazing.
So,
Well, we're going to talk
please
about
God
how
that
to
I drop
overcome
it
that.
for good.
Nice.
All right.
Crazy. That is insane. We're all attached to the world. How about you? How do you feel about your weaknesses?
Is it strange to say that I'm actually, whenever I'm met,
Speak up a
when
little
I'm
bit.
met with my weakness,
Yell at us, we yell at Nicholas.
I'm almost excited to be met with my weakness because I see it and I know that it's spiritual and I know I have to overcome it in a deeper sense.
Yeah.
And so when I see it, I know I either have to overcome it or I die.
Yeah.
So when I see it, it's almost, I'm grateful that I see it, and I acknowledge that it's there, and I just have to be patient with it and just to sit in it and,
Absolutely.
overcome it, or else it absorbs me, and then it's over.
You got to face it. Nice. How about you? How do you feel about your weakness?
As of, I could probably repeat what she just said, and that's all been because of the teachings. This biblical question, I'm usually not too interested in them, to be honest.
Right.
But this one really hit home because within, I guess, the 2 years of me following you, and it's probably been about a year and a half since I first forgave my mom. Those different trials and tribulations of the journey after doing that has brought me to this particular biblical question. And I'm happy with how I'm doing it now. It's like my perspective for pain has absolutely changed.
Yeah.
To where I look at it as I'm grateful for it. I really am. It's not just words, it's something that's from the heart. And, a couple of men's conferences ago, I was up on stage and we had a long banter, and that absolutely, that changed my trajectory a lot. And so, like she said, I'm being patient with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, the tribulations act as patience, and that's what's happening with me. But more specifically, this week, it was about, I don't know, maybe the third day of me noticing that I just wake up to a dress rehearsal of drama.
Yeah.
The imminent doom that's bound to happen. I should have said this in third grade to win that argument. It's ridiculous.
I know, it's insane.
And so
amazing.
And it's like they're just there. I wake up to them. I'm not like, what can I think of to make myself miserable? It just happens.
Yeah.
Right? And about the third day of me noticing this, it just really put a spotlight on it. It's been happening my whole life, but the spotlight was on it. And the voiceless voice was just kind of like, okay, so what? So what? And then that day, I didn't have any judgment of myself.
Yeah.
And so I know how that feels. And I found it easier and easier to just go back to that. So I'm just grateful. It's
man.
great. So how I feel about my weaknesses is I'm grateful for them.
Nice.
Yeah, they're helping me grow.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Holly, how do
appreciate
you, Holly, how do you feel about your weaknesses?
I'm grateful for them
And why? Why are you laughing?
because I feel the same way.
Why you?
And you guys, they're just blowing my mind. So I'm like learning, and I knew you were gonna come to me. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But remember, like I suppose last week's biblical question was similar because Paul was saying, or the Lord spoke to Paul and said, your weakness, or my grace is sufficient for you.
Right.
And it is cool because like your weakness is like what makes you strong, because it's like, it's just like humbling, you know?
And how do you, before you heard me say how to deal with them, how were you dealing with your weaknesses?
Just like smoke a joint.
Smoke a joint? You smoke joint?
Don't judge me.
Wow. A pot? You still smoke it?
Nah.
Huh?
No.
Oh, good.
But yeah, like,
I
you know.
can't imagine you smoking pot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm playing. I was driving down the road Thursday, and we were at the stoplight. I drove at the stoplight, and this black guy drove up next to me in a big truck, and he opened the door of his truck, so I let my window down on my side. He was like, hey, I watch your show. I love your show. I love it. You be talking some good S. He said the S word, right? But when he opened his door up, this odor just came out. And it was so thick, once I pulled out, I felt high. He had been smoked, so I had to let all my windows down because I didn't want that odor to get in my car. But I felt high. I was like, man, I gotta go eat. And with just a few minutes, that stuff's so strong. Did you smoke today's pot or normal pot?
Today's.
You smoked today's pot? Yes. Wow. She looks so innocent, huh? You have an old joint laying around somewhere?
No, you know what was cool when you would say, like, don't think that you're going to go smoke. Just be present, because that's Satan saying, oh, you're going to smoke like in 3 hours. It was so cool to say that.
Yeah, don't be into I'm going to go smoke or I'm not going to smoke. You really have to live a life of wait and see attitude about all things. And that's what faith is. Absolutely. Adriana, how do you feel about your weaknesses before you heard me say how to deal with it?
Oh, before? I had the same thing. Just use vices to kind of deal with stuff.
How do you feel about your weakness now?
Now I'm great. Like, everyone said what was needed to be said. I'm grateful for them. It's an opportunity to see myself and opportunity for growth. And I've noticed just in my life, you know, even before hearing you, like, some things I did overcome, and those things made me so much stronger in life and gave me good perspective.
Amazing. Nice. Way over the corner. How do you feel about your weaknesses?
I think a major weakness I have is sharing with people, and I tend to like push people away. So
you said what now?
The weakness that I have.
You see, you have to share with people.
Yeah, I like to deal with it solo without pushing it on to other people. And I've noticed
So
recently,
beforehand, you to tell people your weakness?
No.
What'd you say about that?
It's the other way around.
Oh, you didn't tell people about it?
Yeah, so I'm noticing that I'm
Oh,
losing.
nice.
It's nice for me, but I feel like I'm losing a lot of my community, like friends around me who I just don't, like, the weakness is I have a hard time like coming clean to other people.
You have a hard
Yeah,
time
do you
coming
see-
clean to
yeah,
them?
Do you see that as a weakness? Because some people want to connect. And so when I'm dealing with my flaws and my weaknesses, I tend to go solo.
You're
and
supposed
deal
to
with
go
it then.
solo.
Yeah, so that's not a problem, right?
Right. You're not supposed to tell
Okay.
people.
Because a lot of people are telling me that I have the problem. And so I'm like, no, it's not me.
No, it's not you, it's them.
Okay.
They're just nosy.
Very nosy, yeah.
Because when you when you really think about it, there's nothing that another human being can do about your problem, your weakness. Nothing they can do. What's the point of telling them? All they're going to do is judge you later with it. Because your life will get better, and they'll get angry about that, and they're like, I remember when you smoked pot.
And they'll use it against you, right?
And they'll use it against you. No, you be quiet and go through that.
All right, cool. So I'm strong. I'm not
It's-
weak. Yeah.
And so you say you feel like you lose your community. What does that mean?
I've just noticed that I'm losing more friends, but I'm knowing myself better.
Yeah.
And so there's like a little conflict there, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I question it all the time.
But you never, the people that you're losing, they were never friends. It was fake. It wasn't real because you don't lose real friends. You lose fake friends.
So
you thought they were friends, but they were not.
So how much of this are you required to help them along? Do you share with them to help show them the light?
You respond accordingly. You let God guide you. He'll guide you what to say and what not to say.
Okay. Yeah, I try doing that. I follow your teachings, do the silent prayer.
Yeah.
Things are amazing, but I notice that more and more people reject that.
Right.
And I'm losing a lot of
Well, God
connections.
said only a few will find that straight and narrow path. Most people go by the wayside. But I do want you to know that you're not losing anything. You're losing what you thought you had and it never was. It was all fake.
Okay.
Because if they were friends, they would not judge you. They may not agree, but you have a right to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah, and just let
And
them
it's not,
go
it's
at their
not
own
personal.
pace. Right.
Right. So don't worry about your community.
Okay.
Your temper is your community. You know what I mean?
My temper? Now, can
Your
you
body.
elaborate?
Your body, that's where the Father dwells.
Mhm.
Jesus is there, the Holy Spirit is there, and God is there. That's your community.
All right.
So don't worry about it.
And that's all we need, right?
Yeah, that's right. Isn't
Like,
that
don't-
amazing? What? What the? Nice.
Thanks.
Yes. Did I see your hand? No? Oh, okay. I'll come back to you then. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you didn't have your hand? Oh, okay. All right. Nice. How do you feel about your weaknesses?
I'm grateful, just like how they were saying. I'm able to see them. I'm not turning a blind eye, whereas before I would handle it by not wanting to see them, just kind of ignoring them.
Yeah.
And now I allow myself to see them. Well, not me, but I'm eligible to see them, and then kind of just deal with it.
And do you go through it too?
Yeah, I realize that I have to go through it to understand the reality of things, not go just based on what people say or their opinions or whatnot.
Yeah.
I physically and mentally, spiritually have to endure myself to really understand.
Right on. Nice.
Then that you could translate that to time. Like I tell them, just trust your gut all the time. Don't take my opinion or somebody else's opinion. Just
know for yourself.
Yeah, just make your own decisions, and then
yeah.
When you fail, it's like, well, at least I gave it my best. You're not blaming others or saying, well, it's because he gave me this advice. And no, it's like you went through it and you learn something from every
absolutely.
weakness, I suppose. Yeah.
Nice. Mark, how do you feel about your weaknesses?
I noticed that they used to anger me. Like at first I was unaware, and then I started listening to you, and then I thought, oh, I forgave, I pray, I'm there. And then I would see myself get angry or something, or I would see myself rationalize, no, I'm not angry, I'm annoyed, or, And then I would get angry at that, and then just kept praying, and on its own, it just like relaxed and relaxed. And now if I see it, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And
are you overcoming them?
yeah, I would say that when I see it, it's like when you get on one of those potential spams or scam likelies, it's like, yeah, right, I'm not going to answer that. It's like, it's far away from me. It's not like, oh man, not again. You know, it's, even if it's something, you know, like, that I used to have a problem with, like, it doesn't bother me. And that's nice.
When you're going through it, is your wife aware of it? Do you tell her, oh, honey, I'm going through it today?
No.
Or do you don't tell her, you just go through it?
Right.
Yeah, don't let her know.
No, I've been following
And she'll be
that
like,
one,
what's
thank
wrong? What's wrong? Nothing? But you didn't eat all your food today. I don't want to.
No, yeah, she's really good in that department. She doesn't.
She just try to get in.
And she knows that the man is not supposed to cry to
Oh,
mama,
okay.
you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so you're making another baby, huh?
Affirmative.
A girl or boy?
Girl.
Beta. This is your second girl, right?
Second girl.
Beta. You like double beta. Did you want to throw that one back?
I wanted to throw the first one back, but
no, I want a boy. Get rid of this one.
I'm actually pretty surprised on how much I enjoy the daughter. I was like, boy. I wasn't even thinking I'd be a beta. I just really wanted a boy for myself. But yeah, that's fine. You get what you get, right?
So when she told you I'm pregnant and you thought I was good, like, oh, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And the first
Next
one I was
try.
like, no. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hermes, how do you feel about your weakness?
What weakness?
Oh, you don't have any?
No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. That's right.
Yeah, I used to hate my weaknesses, and now I stopped judging them, so it's gotten a lot easier.
Yeah. Nice. The one thing I realized about that, I almost want to say I wish I knew before, is that if you stop judging yourself, it's over there. If you did never judge yourself about anything, you'll be free already. And the only reason that you're still stranded is because you judge yourself, as though you think you can change yourself. And knowing that there's not one person on earth that I'm aware of who volunteered to become a sinner. Anybody here walking down the road and you realize, you know what, I'm so happy. I love everything. I want to be a sinner. Anybody ever decided that on your own? And I used to wonder about it. How did I become a sinner? I don't ever remember deciding my life is so wonderful, I just want to serve Satan. I need a little hell in my life. This is too perfect. I need to be judged, and I need to judge. No one made a decision to sin, but yet we've been told all along that we are sinners. And you try to figure out, how did that happen? You know? But I want to tell Nick to come. I brought the Word with me. In the beginning, that was the Word. And the Word was God, and the Word was in God. I brought the Bible. Isn't that amazing? The people want me to bring the Bible. So what? The Bible. The Word. Sometimes I'll be talking to Bible thumpers, and they don't have the answer. They're like, I don't have the Word with me. I forgot to bring the Word. I'm like, what the? And so, before you read this, Nick, we were going to talk about this on the radio on Friday, but we didn't get a chance. What's your impression? What did you get from this? I don't know what Nick got from me yet about this weakness thing, but it sounds like he really learned something from it.
Well, we've all heard you tell us, you can't change your weakness, you can't change, don't judge yourself, that the sin is not your vice. We hear you say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it doesn't really get through sometimes, but I took that to heart and I believe that about myself. But it's interesting how in life you can always continue to learn.
Yeah.
And if you leave yourself open, you can even learn even deeper and deeper on the same thing.
It gets deeper, for sure.
Deeper. And so
it's amazing.
When I read this passage about Paul and the thorn in his side,
right.
Well, first it really drove home to me how you really can't change. But man, it really I just really saw that there's a bigger plan in place, that whatever's going on with me was allowed to happen, and is all to a greater end.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just made me let go on a deeper level. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
And so Nick gonna read this for you. Do you feel like reading it coming up here, or you want to read it from?
Let me see what you got. I'll read it.
Okay. So everybody knows this is my producer, right? The Anchor Baby. The Anchor Baby gonna have his own show in a month, starting in January. That's gonna be. Are you gonna call it the Anchor Baby Show?
Don't give it away.
Oh, is it gonna be the Anchor Baby?
I don't know.
That would stay. I think if you call.
Maybe it should be called Across the Border. Across the Border.
That would stick too.
It's gonna be something, but starting January after the holidays. So.
Right here, right?
Yeah. So he's gonna read
Right there.
2 Corinthians.
Up to there.
12 to here.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
You want me to hold the mic or you okay?
I got it. I am boasting
Alexa's dealing with her weaknesses.
Lord. You know she yells too.
She does? Yeah. I told her to speak up the way she yelled at you. I still have this image of Nick car being parked. Nick car parked near my car. So Nick car was parked near my car, right? And Nick has this big old police black car. Y'all seen those old police cars? And the door is like real heavy. I can't even open the door. So Alexis was getting in the car, Nick just ran around to the other door, got in his, and Alexis tussling with this door, trying not to hit my car. I'm like, Nick, help Alexis get in the car, man, what the? And Alexis like, yeah. And she told me later, he got you, right?
Yeah.
Talking about millennials not helping the ladies.
Can I read this passage now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay. I am boasting because I have to. Not that it does any good, but I will move on to visions and revelations from the Lord. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago, still in the body, I do not know, or out of the body, I do not know. God knows, was caught up right into the third heaven. And I know that this man, still in the body or outside of the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught up into paradise and heard words said that cannot and may not be spoken by any human being. On behalf of someone like that, I am willing to boast, but I am not going to boast on my own behalf except of my weaknesses. And then, if I do choose to boast, I shall not be talking like a fool, because I shall be speaking the truth. But I will not go on in case anybody should rate me higher than he sees and hears me to be, because of the exceptional greatness of the revelations. Wherefore, so that I should not get above myself, I was given a thorn in the flesh, a messenger from Satan to batter me, and prevent me from getting above myself. About this I have 3 times pleaded with the Lord that it might leave me, but he has answered me, my grace is enough for you, for power is at full stretch in weakness. It is, then, about my weaknesses that I am happiest of all to boast, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. And that is why I am glad of weaknesses, insults, constraints, persecutions, and distress for Christ's sake. For it is when I am weak that I am strong.
Amazing. Isn't that amazing? That was 2 Corinthians 12.
Well, what verse?
You too late now. No, I'm playing. 1 through 6. So the point is that when your weaknesses come, whether it's fear or doubt or worry or losing something or whatever vices you may have that you need to overcome, I used to think that you had to overcome the vice before God would help you, right? Because the churches were teaching, they would teach about the vices and not about the heart. And so I would pray to God, take my vice away, take my vice away, take it away, Lord. I don't want to be weak, I don't want this, right? But then when he did come and change my heart, he gave me love. He took away the anger I had. He took the spirit of anger out of me, and he gave me perfect love. And the moment he gave me the love, I stopped judging the vices because I realized I could do nothing. I totally realized in that very moment I gave up trying. I gave up judging myself, but I wasn't clear as to what was happening until over the years I've grown to understand even more so. But I stopped judging. And then I realized it was about the heart. It was never about the vice. As Paul did, he had the vices, and yet God used him. He called him, he made him a disciple because he changed the heart from hate to love. And I want you to know that so that you can stop judging yourself. And it don't matter what anyone else says or think about you, that's on them. They have no love, right? But you are an individual. You're not a group. You're not a club. You are an individual. And each individual is responsible for going to the Father, seeking the kingdom of God, and overcome. And so when you do fear something, fear means, and you'll notice that you fear losing something, right? You fear of your reputation, you fear of something. Instead of acting outside, go in and feel it. Go through it from within. The pain of the ego dying, that's what it is, right? And then when you're going through it, you're going to watch the thoughts telling you, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. And if you believe those thoughts, you're not going to make it. But if you doubt those thoughts, you can't help but believe the truth. You'll wake up one morning and it's gone. Whatever that fear was, whatever the vice is, no matter what it is. Earlier, the young man was talking about his relationship with women. If he understands that the next time that temptation comes, rather than overreacting, but to go within, don't react outside, react on the inside, relax. And it's in that kingdom of heaven that you're being made strong. And you will see that God's grace is sufficient. Because he would take the vice away. He's not going to judge you. He knows that you didn't make yourself that way. He cares about the heart. But the only way you're going to overcome it, you must quietly suffer within. And you'll be up and down emotionally. You're going to want to take a drink. You're going to want to smoke a joint. You're going to want to tell somebody. Don't do it. Do not reach outside, because the outside is where you're overcoming. The outside cannot help you. You go to the psychiatrist or the counselor, and you say, oh, counselor, I'm up and down emotionally. I'm scared. I'm worried. I'm this. All right, you got ADD. Here's some medication. They don't know you tripping on good and evil. You're used to feeling good, and you hate feeling bad. And so when bad time comes, that's the last thing you want. You want to feel good. And so they'll give you medication to make you feel good, but you won't overcome the problem. God will help you overcome the vice, whatever it might be. And then once you get past it, it's going to be amazing, because it's like you're no longer attached to that. It's like you're no longer attached to worried about your job or worried about friendship or familyship or any kind of ship. It's like you're being detached from it. And so now you're in the world and not of it so you're not afraid. I haven't felt fear about the Chinese thing at all. It's like it never happened. Really, it's no fear about it. And then now that I know how to suffer within, I've been made to suffer, though, because I knew I could always see that no one can do about it. And so over the last 32 years, I just suffered through it, and I am better for it. But I had no idea at the time what I was doing. I just couldn't know what helped me. Really, and we're in the good old days where boys were boys and men were men didn't go around telling their vices anyway or their troubles. They didn't go around whining. You didn't even know that they were going through things. Never knew. I never seen and I was reflected, I've never seen my grandparents or my parents wimp about things. And if you grow up and you're wimping, they'll cuss you out. Go sit down, you're a grown man. Men are supposed to be wimping like little girls. They didn't even allow you to put up with that because they knew only God can help you through it. It's all spiritual. We are dealing with spirits. And once you forgive, go forgive your mother for turning you away from your father, because all mothers do it. There's not one that doesn't do it. She can't help but do it. And then forgive your father for not protecting you from her. The rest is easy. It's easy in that you would give up trying to change your life. You'll rejoice when you notice you have fear about something, or you're addicted to something, or you will have joy to go through that because you will know on the other side you'll be free. You'll be in the world and not of it. And you will see when the people are lying to you, when they're playing games, the way the world is doing today. If white people were to relax in this fear that they're going through right now, with this attack upon white people, they will wake up strong to it and beat Satan to death. Because Satan has no power. He only has deception. So you got to learn to relax inside and go through the pain. God is with you. The ego is dying. And in order to live, you must die. Those who are overcoming this are living. And it is amazing. And the wisdom that comes after that is mind-blowing. It really is. You're being taught by the Holy Spirit things that you never even imagined. And you knew at one time, but you forgot. And so it become a daily living for you. And instead of living in fear, you live in peace. You will have no other choice because you will see that God is with you, that He never judged you. He never judged you for anything. The world made you judge yourself by deceiving you with education, with the Bible and with secular education. You're not supposed to let anyone teach you. If someone wants to teach you a trade, that's fine. Learn how to build a house, that's it. It's a tool. But living, don't let anyone teach you how to live. No one can teach you because only God can guide you into the way to live. And He'll guide you from moment to moment to moment to moment. He doesn't want you to think about yesterday or tomorrow because it doesn't exist. In reality, the only thing that exists is right now. There's nothing else but right now. So you got to learn to suffer. God called Paul, and Paul never even told anyone what his vice was. Everybody trying to figure out what it is. Oh, he was gay. They call him all kinds of names, and no one knows what it was. But they make up stuff. He was an alcoholic. He never told anyone. And yet God's grace was sufficient for him. God loves us. He's not judging us at all. Not about one thing. The teaching of this world cause you to believe that, and you judge yourself, and others will judge you, but it's no big deal. Once you overcome, you see it's no big deal. You know that they have no love, so they can't help it, as we can help ourselves. That makes sense? So you got to learn to suffer. That's for men and women. And it's harder for women than it is for men, but the women can overcome it too, because that thing that's working through them is not them. It's the spirit that made a home in you. It's harder for women because, Satan is the woman's daddy. Did you know that Satan was the woman's daddy? Did you know that?
No.
Take the microphone.
Oh, man. Oh, man. No.
And what do you think hearing that?
Makes me think.
Yeah. And so And that's why it's harder for the woman, because Satan comes through the woman. And then the woman is the man's God, so it's a little easier for men to overcome it, because, forgive mama. Once you forgive your mother, the woman will no longer be your God. That's pretty easy, right? But the woman has identified with the nature of Satan, and she really think it's her. And that's why if you tell her that it's not her, or you tell her that evil is working through her, she'll get mad because she's identified with it. She doesn't realize it's a spirit. She didn't make that decision. That's her mother's fault, and her mother's fault, and so on and so on. But then once men wake up and overcome that, they're ready to endure anything, and they'll bring the woman out of the hell she's in. But until you do that, I was on this podcast Friday night, black people. And one of them was my cousin, and you'll see it when it comes out. And so he asked me about women. He said, "I noticed you're so hard on women." And I said, "I love them. I'm telling them the truth, so I want them to get better." I said, "How do you feel about women?" "Oh, I just love the woman. The woman is an angel, and the woman gives life." I said, "Women do not give life, man. What the?" He's like, "The woman gives life." I said, "How does she give life?" "With the baby." I'm like, "She's just the oven, man." The man put the bread in the oven cooked for 9 months, and the bread came out. How did that give me life? Oh God, it was so much fun. He was like, the woman is a queen. I was like, "Yeah, queen of the devil." But it was so much fun. But you got, as long as you try to identify with the group, this black thing and white thing and all that, you're not gonna make it. This family community thing, You should only identify with God. And if you endure your fears and don't reach outside for anything, you will overcome it. And the pain is great. Even when you're ready for the pain, it's great. And that's because we've been so accustomed to being emotional about things. And we don't want to feel bad pain inside. We want to feel good on the inside. But when the bad pain comes, that's what you don't want, but that's the pain you need. The bad pain is the one you should go toward, not away from. Then you shall overcome. That makes sense? Anybody disagree with that? I'm telling you, we've been taught wrong. That's why God said, call it joy when this pain comes. When people try to hurt you, count it all as joy. They are doing you a favor, they don't know it. They don't realize they're doing you a favor. They're forcing you to face and overcome your weaknesses. So be happy about your weaknesses. All right? Yes, ma'am. Right here. That makes sense at all? Anybody doing that? Okay.
I also wanted to say something about that. Before I realized how to not judge myself for my weaknesses, it was really difficult to me. I couldn't understand that. Like, I couldn't put it together. I was like, how I'm not going to judge it like my weakness, you know?
Yeah.
And I was seeing it, what it really helped me, and I think God let me see, and by hearing you, is you talking all the time about don't have an opinion about yourself, right? So I was seeing my weakness, me judging my weakness, came from me thinking too much about my good things, right?
Yeah.
So I was always getting wrapped up in wanting to be good and look good and the compliments that they gave me and oh, I'm doing right. So that got me so caught up on, I was so caught up on that. It's almost like the same way I have to overcome the weaknesses, I have to overcome things that people say that I'm good at. And
that's right.
And it was like, I had to realize that because it was so difficult to me before, it was because I just took one side of the spectrum, but you have to see the opposite one.
People say, oh, you're so good at what you do.
Yeah.
I love the way you build a house or cook bread. And you be like, yeah, that's nice. Oh, that's good. If one person come along and say, oh, that's awful. And all of a sudden you hate that person that says it's awful, but you love the person that said it was good, right? But they're both false. But the ego is lying to you, right? And so you should treat the negative the same way you treat the positive. Thank you. Someone say, oh, Jesse, I love you. You're so amazing. All I say is thank you, because I know tomorrow they can turn. Just like I can say one word and it's over. Jesse did this and Jesse that, right? And so I take the good, so-called good, in the same way I take the bad. I really do. I've not always been that way, but once he took the anger away, the spirit of anger away, I take them both the same now. And life is amazing. Because if you're an emotional person, you will be controlled by the world.
Yeah.
They'll make you feel good and they'll make you feel bad. That's what women do to men. When they want you, oh, you're so handsome. You're such a good man. Come on and meet mama. And then you're like, yeah, I am good. And then you go, and then when you're feeling good, they're like, you know, I want to get me a new apartment, but I don't have any money. Can you help me get this apartment? And while you're feeling good, she like loving you, right? But if you say, no, I'm not getting you an apartment. Are you crazy? What the? And then now she said, you're cheap. You're no good. You're not attractive anyway. I was lying. And now you're mad. And then she'll say, are you going to get the house now? And you'll get the house. Because you want to make her feel better so you can feel better. Emotions are not good. You must overcome emotions. Emotions are evil. They come from the ego. And it's all about ego, about self. It's about self. Emotions are evil.
So yeah, so
there's no such thing as a good emotion. Emotions are evil. Even that love emotion, that you know how men and women meet for the first time, they just love one another, right? I met this woman at church. She a godly woman. And I've been looking for a godly woman. I'm tired of the women from the bar. I want a godly woman. And this woman quoted the Bible up and down. The Lord told me to tell you, the Lord told me you my husband. And he believed it. And he get with this woman and it's pure hell. Now you want to dump her. Because she made him feel good and she made him feel bad. She made him feel good with the word, and then she made him feel bad without the word. You got to overcome emotions. And when you endure emotional stuff, you will overcome. And you will love all in the same way. This guy, once again on this podcast, I asked him about love. He was like 32, I think. And I asked him, I don't know how the love thing came up, but I asked him, do you love all people? He like, no, not really. I love some, but not others, right? And I said, well, if you don't love one, you love none. You have to love even your enemies. And then he said, no, I don't, because I love this neighbor over here, but I hate this effing neighbor over here. He was like, he really hit it hard. I hate that neighbor over there. The two neighbors between his house. I'm like, why you hate that neighbor over there? Because that neighbor did me wrong. I said, but you got to love the neighbor anyway. I don't have to love him. Okay. But when you endure, you love all. And love just means don't hate. You have to love your enemy. And when you endure, you will. But you must forgive so you can enter in. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so basically that helped me a lot to see my weaknesses, like not having any opinion about myself or about anybody, because I was doing it too, to my people, my friends and my family. I was like, oh, you're amazing, and giving all these compliments. And I was like, what am I even doing? This is not genuine at all. So now I understand my weaknesses and I can see why am I judging it, and I understand. It's like it opened up a whole new level of understanding for why I was judging it and why I wasn't good. The other thing I want to say really
know thyself, the kingdom of heaven is within, and you will get to a point where you start to live from within. It's going to naturally happen. I didn't know you could really, really, really live from within every day, right? Because I've been so accustomed to living from without. But the Father is causing you to live from within. And it's amazing to live that way. It really is. You will live from within. You grow into it. Don't worry. And when you're living from within, you're going to see Satan lying to you. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. No such thing as a true thought. God, it's not from God and it's not from you. And you'll see that. So when you're suffering and when you feel good, quote unquote, watch what Satan is telling you and you'll see you won't give in to it and you'll overcome and it will be amazing. You must pray and watch. That's why I'm blown away with some people. I say, do the silent prayer, and they would be still and know God. As soon as things are fine or whatever, they stop doing it. But Satan never stops. He doesn't give up. And you need the light of the Father to shine on the darkness. And Satan is always busy, so you should stay with the prayer. He said to pray without ceasing. Because it's a spirit. Our battle is spiritual, and it's happening inside of us and outside. So you should not stop praying. Really, yes.
Hey, one last thing.
Lord. What now?
No. When you were talking about animals, like people being animals.
People act like animals.
Yeah, like, so I know, and I've seen even coming to America more, because in my country we're like more outdated, I guess. When I came to America and I came to college immediately, it was all this like liberal mindset.
Yeah.
I remember my first class, it was a biology and anthropology class, and this teacher was a man and I was a virgin back then, and it was teaching everybody to don't be ashamed about, don't be like, like having sex, that's a natural thing. Why God wouldn't put that on you if it's an animal thing. Animals have it. Like comparing us to animals.
And in that fallen state, you are an animal. It's the same as an animal.
But I was like thinking, why, and then I spoke up and I said, why are you comparing me to an animal? I'm a rational human being. Like I have a soul,
Yeah.
And then he got so mad at me, and after class, he sit me down for like an hour telling me all these things about, well, if the God that you believe in is so mean to you because he's putting this on you, so you suffer through it. And I'm like, I'm not suffering through it.
No.
So I was thinking about it, and I remember now how that was the first time I stand up for myself, but then because it kept going, I just gave in, I guess, because nobody was teaching me the other way.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just that one way everybody was telling me, no, you should not be virgin. That's not right. You're weird,
Yeah.
Or you're afraid. And
there are men and women who, in today's society, don't want to admit that they're virgins. They're ashamed to let anyone know that they're a virgin.
Guys are the same way.
Huh?
Guys were the same way growing up.
Yeah, they're ashamed. You should be happy you're still a virgin. Really. You're not suffering like the animals.
So basically, I think they're okay with being animals. They don't think it's wrong. So
Right.
when you tell them you're acting like an animal, they really don't care. They're like, yeah, we're animals. We come from a chimpanzee or something. So
They care when they're alone by themselves. They care. They're feeling the pain of it, the ego pain of it. But when they're out and some people are looking at them, they're pretending to be happy, but they're not. Believe me, they're not. They're on all kind of drugs and anti-medication, and they're suffering within. They're catching hell.
I think intellectually they lie to themselves, but in the spirits maybe
they're not happy. Yeah.
They're like, oh, what is good about being an animal?
Anyone who has any iota of anger is not happy. They have no peace. That's just a fact. Because anyone who has anger, Satan is your daddy. And in him there is no peace. And that's why you act like animals. You've been turned away from the Father. And so when you're attacked, you know how you walk down the road and some dog run up to the gate and try to get you? You start barking at you, you just want to growl back. That's how human beings do one another. If someone says something bad about you, you want to say something bad back to them, right? You don't be still and overcome it. You have an instant reaction. Well, why did you say that to them? They said it to me. Why did you yell at them? Why did you curse them out? They cursed me out. What the? Don't do it. Well, you can't help it in that animal state. But when you return to the Father, then you have self-control from within. Yes, ma'am.
I was on a plane and I was sitting beside this black lady, and whatever, there was like there was like lull and we could talk a little bit, and she was like, oh, you seem like you have a really sweet spirit. And I'm just like thinking like, And I literally, as soon as she said that, right, I was like, well, just so you know, I don't think racism exists. She literally changed her seat on the plane. I was like, exactly.
She changed her seat?
On the plane, yeah.
See that?
And I was just like, LOL. And I'm like, no one doesn't like you because you're black, but that you act like, what just happened, you know? I thought I was so sweet.
See that?
It was amazing.
And if you had sucked it all in, oh yeah, I'm sweet. You see my spirit?
Yeah, I know, right? It was crazy. And
I got
also,
a sweet spirit. And the moment you said that, you returned, now you've been feeling bad.
Right.
Amazing, good. That's a
Yeah.
good example.
Another cool thing is like, you know when like you have a bug bite but you can't scratch it?
Yeah.
So this is how, like, what a dichotomy we live in. Like, you have to look at that scratch and literally just like laugh at it and be like, well, I can't scratch it. So, but like, it's kind of cool to know that this is how separate you are from your body.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get that all the time. Like, as soon as you open your mouth, people are like, oh, I thought you were black. And the same with me. They're like, oh, I thought you were liberal. I'm like, yeah. But like, once you realize how the world is always judging you, it's kind of cool to just see like, this isn't me at all. Like, this
Yeah.
is just the body I got on earth.
The world is hell on earth. This is how it feels to be in hell, but you can overcome it. You have a way out while you live. But if you die with that, you go into a place you don't want to be, and you have no way of overcoming. But this is an example of what hell is like. The world is hell on earth. Look at it. It's hell on earth. No love. Zero love. Zero love. It's just hell. But you can live in this hell by overcoming. You can be paradise on earth, but it's within us. And you won't be affected by it. And so when you do pray, make sure you watch. That's all you need to do is watch those thoughts. Don't try to do anything about them. Don't run from them. Just watch them like you're watching a movie. You are not your thoughts. And just think about it. If you were in charge of your own thoughts, you would never create a bad thought for yourself. You would wake up every morning, oh, I'm wonderful. I'm bright. I'm the smartest thing on earth. You know how those counselors be telling you to, what do they call that? Affirmation. Yeah, that doesn't do any good. And so as soon as you get outside, say, okay, let's see how bright you really are. Someone will offend you just like that, all the brightness is gone. But it's dumb to get up in a mirror and to try to convince your ego that you're wonderful. So they'll tell you, oh, do these 10 affirmations every morning. Okay, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. You're wonderful. Oh, they say, I'm wonderfully made. They say that in the mirror. And you look at them, they fat, unhappy, crazy. Ain't nothing wonderfully made by that. You know what I'm saying? But they make you say this stuff thinking that that's gonna, oh, I have a job. They don't even have a job. Oh, I have a job. I'm going looking for a job today. I have a job. All in the name. In the name. God will take care of all that. He really will. All he wants you to do is relax and let him work through you. He'll provide your need. We don't even know what we want. Another thing about, we don't know what we want, right? And then I got to end this. Another thing that once you go through this stuff, you're going to see how weak you really, really are. You're going to see the weakness, whereas you thought you were strong. You know what I'm saying? You thought, oh, I can change myself. Oh, I can do that. But when you're going through it, you see how weak you are. And it's a blessing to see that because the ego is dying. It's a blessing to see your weakness. The ego doesn't want you to face the weakness, but God does so he can kill the ego, that spirit of Satan. So let yourself suffer through this stuff within. It's like fasting with food, right? Some people fast and they don't eat for a few days, and all of a sudden they feel weird and all that. You're fasting from the world, and you're dying from it. That makes sense? Yes. Anybody done that yet? Yes, sir, right here. Okay.
I've been getting what you're saying, and I just my weakness or struggle, whatever you want to call it, is sort of like I keep putting like expectations out for everything we're talking about. Like, when is it going to pay off? Not like monetarily or material wise, but like just like that feeling of you briefly said it, of like kind of feeling stranded. Because it is. It's like he said. It's like you kind of part of the. Once you start kind of living it, you go through like a bit where you feel a little alienated because people kind of just fall away from you, and you know, people that you thought you were friends with just sort of go in a different direction. And I know, like, I don't want to say I'm struggling with it, but it's just I have that kind of expectation, like, when is this all going to pay off? You know what I mean? And
when is what going to pay off?
I guess this, like, going through the suffering that we're talking about.
Meaning when will you be rewarded for it?
Yeah, but I don't really, I don't mean it like, you know, here's your mansion or here's your car. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I guess it's sort of like that spiritual, when is it going to pay off spiritually, I guess? Like, how would you know? Like, when do you know that?
Oh, I think I understand.
Yeah, I
kind of understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm still kind of working it out.
But I'm black and slow. And sometimes white people say things I don't understand. Because they're so educated.
Yeah.
No, I think I know what you're saying.
Okay.
So, like when you going through the pain, quietly going through it, right? And you feel that it's rough, right? And then you're losing friends, you're losing this or that. And so you want to know when will the pain end and you'll be free from it?
I guess. It's just like, how do you know, like, you're there, quote unquote? Like, how do you know? I know it sounds really vague because I'm still kind of working it out too. Like,
right. I kind of know what you're saying. Yeah. And my friend want to respond first, okay, and then I come back to it. Who understand what he's asking? Oh, good. Oh, good. Raymond, if you understand, why are you so crazy with your pain? With your pain. You just think that it eating your soul up. I'll come back to it. No, I'll come back. I want to get here.
Yeah, so I think the answer is in the verse that Nick read. It's when you can boast about it. When you're self-deprecating, you can talk about freely and you're no longer ashamed of it. So you won't, that's the first marker.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I see you boasting and making fun of everything. And
yeah.
I can tell that you're not falling. And
that comes after the pain. Because going through the pain, sometimes I just say, you know what, whatever. It'd be so hard on me, right? And look like it's gonna last forever. Cause you want the pain to hurry up and go away. You know what I mean? And so I often think, well, who am I that I should not suffer? Because Christ suffered through this stuff and it was worse than what we have to go through, right? But sometimes it's so heavy, it's so hurt so bad, I just go, whatever, Lord. I can't do anything about it, so I just have to do it. But then, as he said, after it's over, the brightness come and the wisdom come, and that's why I'm able to tell you about it, because I went through it. And I don't say, well, the next time I have to go through, I'm ready for it, right? I'm just living today now, and I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring, so I have no expectation. But wisdom will come. It's gonna be amazing. You'll become a witness to other people how to go through it. You would know exactly what it takes because you've gone through it. But it will pass. It doesn't feel like it, and you will be rewarded. Life. What? Let her have the mic.
No, I believe, I want to say I believe it.
It doesn't feel like it at the time.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that makes you want to take a drink. Really, because if you just took a drink, you won't feel the pain. But it doesn't feel like it going through it, but endure with joy. Meaning, it doesn't mean you got to hoop and be all happy.
Yeah.
Just relax and go through it.
I guess for me, it doesn't really feel like pain. It's more like frustration, really. Like, it's not like pain, like, oh, I'm suffering. It's just more like exhaustion. It's like, because I've been sticking with the silent prayer. I've been really trying to, I think I can tell I've been a lot better with recognizing thoughts and all that stuff.
Right.
It's just kind of like when you leave and you kind of go out into the world, especially here, LA, it's like you just kind of like, I just feel exhausted, like disappointed, frustrated, just literally just driving through LA, seeing what the world's becoming. And it's just like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's hard for me to explain it. It's just, when is it all going to be worth it, basically? That's just where I keep coming back to. It's like, I hope all this is worth it.
You hope all,
all of this like
You hope
nonsense.
you die from the world is worth it, or you hope what?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I guess just all of this journey, I guess, this whatever this path is that God's laying out for me.
Right.
All the craziness that we're all dealing with in this time in history. It's just like, I keep going back to like the phrase I keep saying back to myself is like, oh man, I hope this is all worth it. Like, I just hope.
So you're thinking, when you see how messed up the world is,
Yeah.
you're hoping that your suffering is all worth
It's
it?
just like all of it together. It's just like, because it feels like it's more negative than positive. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm hoping all of this, I'm hoping these hard times, so to speak, just pay out. And again, not like monetarily pay out, but just like, there's like a positive at the end of it all. You know?
But why do you want to be right? Why do you want to be right and do right? What's your purpose of wanting to know God?
I guess it's just because it's the right thing to do. Because the alternative is literal hell, you know. So if I know that, which I do, it's just I might as well go live right and do right. Because the alternative is.
Okay.
You know, I know it sounds kind of scatterbrained because it's just.
The
it's
one
just
thing
what
I
I've been
do want to tell you while going through this, don't believe anything, because I see the mess out there too, right?
Yeah.
But as you go through it, you're going to see that that mess is no longer in you. And then so you'll see what's going on in the world, but you won't be a part of it, and that's the blessing. It's like you'll be free, you'll be taken care of, you will have joy in your life, you'll be peaceful, and your life will still be working, but the outside world will be falling apart.
Right.
And so that alone is worth it, to see the light in the darkness like that, and you're doing fine, because you become a son of God. But so don't let Satan tell you, oh, look at the world out here. What you're going through is not even worth it. It's just getting worse. And for the world, it is getting worse, but not for you. That's why he wants you in the world, but not of it, because the light got to shine in the darkness, and the world is dark.
Right.
They can't see, right? And so by you overcoming and becoming the light working through you, you'll be the light in the darkness. But those who are seeking the light, they will find it. They'll see it in you, and you'll be able to point them back to the Father. And in the meantime, you will have peace. So just relax and go through it, and don't worry about how long it's going to last and why it is and blah, blah. Is it all worth it? You know what I'm saying? Resist that from the devil, because that's not you telling yourself that. That's Satan telling you that, because he doesn't want you to overcome. He wants you to destroy yourself.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Satan telling you, oh, look at the world. Why are you going through? Why am I suffering like this? Things are still bad out there, but not in here. It's not bad.
Okay.
That makes sense. So pray and watch. So I think I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah. But doubt every thought about anything, all thoughts, all lies, all the time about anything. And if you lose the world, will you lose your friends? They weren't your friends anyway. You lost the world. You're overcoming that phony friendship stuff. Or you're overcoming worried about your reputation, or worried about the black people taking your house if you say there's no such thing as racism, or taking your job. You won't worry about those things. It wouldn't even be a part of your nature. And yet the Father would take care of you. It doesn't seem like, because you can't figure this out.
See, like that, when you just said that, like my first reaction was like, well, I hope so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see
so
there?
It's like,
But don't hope for that. You want life. Don't hope that you won't lose a job. Oh, the last thing, and then I got in. When I said you won't lose your job or whatever, and you say, oh, I hope so, what that says is that your attachment is with the job.
it's
You're
ego.
attached to the job. Well, God want to unattach you to the job. It's just a job. It's not your life. It's not who you are, right? And so it's too important to you. He would make it unimportant. It's just a way for you to have food on your table.
Right.
He is life, not the job. That makes sense?
It does, yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. That's just where we're talking about weakness earlier. That's the one I'm kind of working through.
Yeah. Well, when you feel that fear of losing a job, relax in the fear. And watch the thoughts, let them go. You'll be fine. You have a job, so all is well.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking specifically about job.
Right.
It's just like that. It's all like encompassing. It's at the end of the day, it is that ego that we're chipping away at. And
Yes.
yeah, I can.
The ego is dying. And everything that's important to you, the world give you a chance to overcome it. When they cause you to fear it or worry, they're really causing you to go within and overcome it. All right?
Yeah.
Because you will see how attached you are to it. So I see what you mean.
Cool.
But just relax. Endure the pain. Don't worry about how long it's going to last or how long it will not last. You just endure it. It's for the good.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. Last word. Did I see your hand?
I was just going to respond to that. I think once we really understand that we're with the Father, we completely let go and we have faith and we just let His will be done. Let it unfold and then we adapt accordingly.
Yes.
Absolutely. Instead of thinking or anticipating what's going to happen or if it's going to pay off, you just let it happen. And if we really believe we're with the Father, we understand that we're on the right side.
You're on the right side.
Yeah.
And be glad when you see your weakness. When fear comes, that's a weakness that you want to overcome. So face it. All right? Son, you want to respond to that? Or? Okay. All right. Yes.
Just as like encouragement, like the war has already been won. These people are all just fighting God right now, you know? Like it's kind of encouraging when I go through LA and I'm like, look at this mess. And I'm like here chilling, listening to like Christian radio, you know? Like gender has already been established. They're just raging against it and nothing is gonna change, you know? So I think that's kind of encouraging. Like the war's already been won. God already won. This is like grace
That's
period
the beauty
we live
about
in.
things. We already free. God came, He sent Christ, and He conquered all. But in your mind, you just don't know you're free. But really, you're already free. He's not judging you for anything. He understands why we fell into the fallen state. He came and made it so we come. In reality, we're already free. We're just slave to the mind, to the lies, to the anger. But you really are free already. You have no problems. You have no worries. You just believe you do because you've been turned away from the Father. It's not even real. That's what's so weird about it. We suffer for nothing. It's like we have food on the table, but we don't believe it, so we go out and try to get some more. You have a meal right here, right? But Satan said, oh, you better go and buy some groceries. They're running out. The shelves are empty now, you know what I mean? And you got a plate of food right there. But and so now you'll leave the table and go look for some more food. What a mess. So do the silent prayer. Stay with it. Do what you want, but stay with the silent prayer. Really. I've been doing it for 32 years nonstop, and I'm so glad now. Because the testimonies I hear from those who stop is crazy. And watch the thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You think, you feel. That's not you. When you don't get into the thoughts, you will not have the feelings. It'll be impossible. Every thought is a lie all the time about anything. Amazing. Are you doing the prayer now?
No. I know.
Where's your father? I need him to hear that. Oh. And why not do it?
I'm scared of the mic.
You scared of the mic?
Yeah.
But you ain't scared to pray. But you won't pray.
Well, we just met Thursday.
Oh.
So
you're waiting? Today is Sunday, right?
I haven't revisited your video on YouTube, but I'll do it tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Any question about anything?
Well, you say feelings are not, or emotions are not of God?
No.
They're not of God?
No, they're not.
What about joy?
Who is joy?
Joy, happy, joy.
That's of Satan too.
Joy's from Satan?
Yeah, because joy is based on a feeling. You feel good, you got joy. You get a present, you got joy. Right?
My dad's back.
Okay. And
what did I do?
She's not doing the prayer.
I'm sorry?
She's not doing the prayer. She said no. The silent prayer? Do you do it? You do the silent prayer? Oh, you
Never done it.
Oh, you heard about it?
No, aquí 6 pies.
Oh.
Digo 6.
Right. No, I never.
Oh, you haven't heard about it?
No.
Oh, on my channel, www.silentprayer.video.
Okay.
I want you to start doing that so you can overcome the fallen state.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
God will guide you.
Okay.
Your daughter's not doing it. She heard about it on Thursday, and today is Sunday.
No, I heard about it before Thursday, but remember I said I did it once, but I was just thinking about.
Oh,
I think I was
speaking to the
thinking about
mic.
things- what I was
Speaking
gonna
to the
make.
mic.
I think so. A week before this past Thursday, I remember that I put you on the silent prayer, but my mind went south. I started thinking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
And then you just let that pass.
let Thanksgiving pass.
No, the idea about it, when you're doing the silent prayer,
Oh, okay.
let it pass. Don't hold on to any thoughts at all. Because you will, because the fact that you were able to see that, you were thinking about Thanksgiving, is God who is allowing you to see it. So you can know that you're not your thoughts.
Okay.
Because you didn't sit there and make yourself think about Thanksgiving, right?
No, I was just thinking about the pies I was gonna get.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Yeah.
I went-
But that's not you though, all right? And so joy is not real, it's based on a feeling.
What do you feel when you say you've overcame anger? What is it that you feel? What would you
Perfect.
describe it as?
Peace, you don't feel anything.
Isn't that, you don't feel anything?
No. You really don't. When the anger is taken away from you, the spirit of anger, you feel nothing because God is not into feelings. He's a dispassionate God. He's not all passionate. Satan is passionate. So it's anyone who into joy and hate, up and down, Satan is their daddy. It's about the ego. But joy, God is about peace, common sense, not comparing yourself to others, not looking ahead or looking back, just living a simple life, not trying to be like anyone, just be yourself. He's about peace.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so when you overcome the anger, then you start living a peaceful life. Even when you're driving down the road and you see the bombs out on the streets and fighting and black people stealing stuff, you still have peace and you see how crazy they are. They have like animals. And if someone give you something and it's something really nice, you'll be grateful for it, but you won't be up and down about it. Oh, thank you. And then if they take it away, you'll be mad, right? You won't have any of that going on. You would appreciate all things.
Yeah.
That make sense?
That makes sense.
So do the silent prayer.
I'll do it tonight.
All right.
I'll let you know how it goes.
All right. Amazing.
I mean, I don't have to tell you, but
No, you can tell me. Use a fellowship. That's what we do here.
okay.
Absolutely. Any questions about anything? This is your first time here. Any questions or disagreements?
No, everything is fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to meet you, man.
Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your daughter is something else, huh? Nice daughter.
She's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions about anything?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Any question about anything or disagreement?
No, everything you say is pretty much common sense.
Yeah.
You know, like when I come in contact with people, I just, like I tell them this little, like, just hopefully we can make, sense common again.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely,
Basic
man.
logic, right, right and wrong. I mean, no emotional attachment to any decision, just logically and think for yourselves, basically.
Emotional people would get mad at you for not being emotional.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but they call, for me, I'm the crazy one.
Right.
I could show them facts. I could show them, whatever they want to see that they're arguing against.
Yeah.
And it still won't change their perspective.
That's the brainwashing.
They're really subscribed to that ideology, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even see it.
Absolutely.
Again, the facts, stats, whatever their argument is, it doesn't matter. They're already.
You tell them, my daddy died. Or they tell you, my daddy died last night. And you're like, oh, I wish him well. May his soul rest in peace, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel anything about it.
Right.
They expect you to cry over dead daddy.
Yeah.
You dead.
Yeah. That's true.
Any question about anything? Any disagreement?
No questions, everything good.
No.
Everything good.
Forgive your mother. Well, when you see what it is. All right. Any question about anything? Any disagreements?
Everything's good. Everything makes sense.
Did you go and forgive your mother? Let him have the mic for me. Did you go and forgive your mother?
No, but I will.
Oh, you will?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how about your father?
My father's same. He's always shown me tough love, and I've never taken it the right way. I've always seen it as, like, as mean as,
Right.
But looking back at it, like, it all makes sense, like, it all comes back to me as he was always just trying to teach me to
Absolutely.
be independent on myself, and because I would always just look back and just ask him for help or,
Nice.
and he never was the type to like talk to me, sit down and explain to me. It was always with just anger, but I guess that was his way of.
Well, forgive your mother for turning you away from him because you saw him through her eyes. Kids don't naturally see their father that way, but the mothers tell you, oh, he's an alcoholic, or he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, and she played victim. He abused me, right? But she won't tell you, you know what, your dad abused me and I deserved it. I'm so mean, it's hard for him to deal with me. I'm just like his mama, because men marry women that are just like mama. And they can't handle their mother, so they can't handle the mother that they marry. And so your mother's not going to tell you as a kid, your father loved you, it's just that he can't deal with me. I'm a hell full of hell, and he can't handle it. She'll make you think she's a victim, and you identify with her, and you see your father the way she sees him, and not the way you see him. Kids love their fathers, but the mothers hate the fathers, and so they turn the kids away. So forgive your mother for doing that to you, and apologize to your father for resenting him for that. You couldn't help it.
I will.
All right. Anything you disagree with that you heard today?
Nothing at all.
I'm glad you all came. Thank you all for coming, all right? Let me do this real fast. Any announcements? If you're not on the mailing list, we're sending out a newsletter soon. When is it going out?
After Thanksgiving.
So make sure that if you want to get a free copy of it, we have your address or post office, whatever you want it. Don't forget to follow and like and whatever, right? All that stuff that you're supposed to be doing nowadays. Yeah. Follow, like, tweet, subscribe, share. Ring the bell. All that. Do it all. And do the prayer, stay with the prayer. Become an individual. You came into the world by yourself, you're going out by yourself, right? So don't identify with a club. Be an individual. That's what made the country so great, individuality, right? Then you'll be able to help in the time of need. So do the silent prayer, doubt every thought, endure. When you feel someone makes you feel something, relax, don't overreact. Don't react to it at all. Go within and doubt it. Let every thought pass, all right? Thank you all for tuning in. I totally appreciate it. And we will do the show this week. Happy Thanksgiving. And thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Amazing. In the world.